değerli katılımcılar, Ticaret Bakanlığımız ev sahipliğinde, Afrika Birliği işbirliğinde ve DEİK organizasyonunda konuk bakanların katılımlarıyla İstanbul'da gerçekleştirdiğimiz Türkiye-Afrika 4. İş ve Ekonomi Forumumuza ilk gününde ilk panelindeyiz. Altyapı yatırımı fırsatları, enerji, telekomünikasyon ve ulaşım ağları paneline hoş geldiniz. Teşekkürler. Panelimizin açılış konuşmalarını gerçekleştirmek üzere Dış Ekonomik İlişkiler Kurulu Başkanımız Sayın Nail Olpak'ı kürsüye davet ediyoruz efendim.
Komorlar Birliği Sağlık, Dayanışma ve Sosyal Koruma Bakanı Sayın Loup Yakuti Attomani, Enerji ve Tabii Kaynaklar Bakan Yardımcımız Sayın Ahmet Barat Çonkar, Afrika Finans Kurumu Kıdemli Direktörü Sayın Amadou Watta, çok değerli panelistler, Türkiye ve Afrika iş dünyasından çok değerli katılımcılar, değerli basın mensupları, Ticaret Bakanlığımızın ev sahipliğinde ve Afrika Birliği işbirliği ile fırsatların önünün açılması ve daha güçlü ekonomik işbirlikleri temasıyla DEİK olarak düzenlediğimiz 4. Türkiye-Afrika Ekonomi ve İş Forumu'nda forumumuzun ilk günündeki ilk panelinde sizleri saygıyla selamlıyorum. Hoş geldiniz, şeref verdiniz. Umuyorum ki iyi hazırladığımız bu 2 gün içerisinde yapılacak görüşmeler, paneller, B2B, G2B görüşmeleri, anlaşmalar ve Türkiye-Afrika arasındaki köprülerin arttırılması gayretlerimizle önce ikili ticaretimizi 50 milyar, daha sonra da 75 milyar dolar seviyesine çıkartmak için gayret edeceğiz. Türkiye ekonomisine kısaca son 20 yılına en azından baktığımızda önemli bir atılım görüyoruz. Afrika ile ilişkilerimize baktığımızda da örnek olarak müteahhitlik firmalarımız daha ziyade Kuzey Afrika'da önceleri faaliyette bulunurlarken son 20 yıl içerisinde memnuniyetle Sahra altında da çok önemli çalışmalar yaptıklarını ve kıtada en fazla varlık gösteren firmalar arasında olduğunu görüyoruz. Bunun arkasında biraz önce bahsettiğim neden yatıyor. Türkiye'nin kendi altyapısına verdiği önem. Türkiye karayollarıyla, demir yollarıyla, otoyollarıyla, köprüleri, havalimanlarıyla, veri merkezleriyle, GSM şebekeleriyle, yenilenebilir enerjiye yapmış olduğu güneş, rüzgar ve diğer alanlardaki yatırımlarıyla gerçekten kendi alanında bir öncü oldu. Bugün dünyaya baktığımızda da küresel ekonomik sorunların çözümünde ve iyileştirilmesinde altyapı yatırımlarının çok önemli bir yeri olduğu açık. Tabii bu arada yeşil ve dijital dönüşümün de hepimizin gündemimizde olduğunu biliyoruz. Her sektördeki üretim ve tüketim alışkanlıklarını değiştiren bu dönüşümler enerji alanında da paradigmaları değiştiriyor. Afrikalı dostlarımızın ulaşım, enerji ve sağlık başta olmak üzere ihtiyacı olan altyapı projelerinde bugüne kadar olduğu gibi bundan sonra da kazan-kazan prensibi içerisinde daha fazla işbirliği yapmak istediğimizi ifade etmek istiyorum. Elbette bunların bir tamamlayıcısı da lojistik yatırımları. Bütün dünyada daha fazla öne çıkıyor. Çünkü küresel ticarette yeni bölgesel işbirlikleri ve yeni yollar gündemde. Bunların somut hale gelmesi ise yeni altyapı yatırımlarıyla mümkün olabilecek. Bu çerçevede birbiriyle entegre intermodal yapılar daha fazla konuşuluyor. 3 tane örnek vermek isterim. Çin'in bir kuşak ve bir yol projesi bunlardan birisi. Amerika Birleşik Devletleri'nin daha iyi bir dünya için yeniden inşa edin projesi var biliyorsunuz. Ve Avrupa Birliği'nin küresel geçit projesini yine bu çerçevede değerlendirmemiz lazım. Ben Türkiye'de Turkcell GSM şirketinin bir yönetim kurulu üyesi olarak telekomünikasyon sektörü içerisinde altyapı yatırımlarının önemini bilfiil yaşayanlardan birisiyim. Covid ve Rusya-Ukrayna savaşının bize öğretilerine de bir cümleyle değinmek istiyorum. Biz o süreçte tedarik zincirinin, ulaşılabilirliğin, enerji ve gıdanın, iletişimin önemini biliyorduk ama çok daha önemli olduğunu kavradık. Dijital teknolojileri de hayatımızda çok yoğun kullanmaya başladık. Evet, yaşadığımız ve yaşayacağımız dönüşümler biraz önce ifade ettiğim çerçevede enerji, ulaştırma ve iletişimin bizim açımızdan önemini daha fazla ortaya koydu. Ancak bu tür yatırımlar tek bir ülkenin yapmasıyla altından kalkabileceği ve küresel anlamda sorun çözücü yatırımlar değil. Bu noktada bu yatırımlarda vizyonumuzu daha geniş tutarak küresel işbirliklerine daha fazla açık olmak durumundayız. Biraz önce ifade etmiştim. Türkiye kendi altyapı yatırımlarını yaparken çok önemli tecrübeler kazandı. Bunu tüm altyapı yatırımlarında enerji yatırımları dahil olmak üzere ifade etmekten gerçekten memnuniyet duyuyorum. Amacımız bu vesileyle bu 2 gün sürecek Tabef etkinliğimizde de Türkiye'nin kazanmış olduğu bu yetkinlik ve tecrübemizi tüm Afrikalı dostlarımızla yine altını çizerek ifade etmek isterim ki kazan çerçevesi içerisinde daha fazla işbirliğine çevirmek. Çünkü günümüzdeki işbirlikleri ticaretin yanı sıra ifade etmeye çalıştığımız ticaretin gerektirdiği altyapı alanlarındaki işbirliğiyle de ön plana çıkıyor ve biz bu noktada Afrikalı dostlarımızla el ele yürümekten mutluyuz. Bundan sonra daha fazla yürümek için de gayret sarf edeceğiz. Bu duygularla panelimizi ve programımıza teşrif eden başta Sayın Sağlık Bakanı, Sayın Bakan Yardımcımız ve kıdemli direktör olmak üzere biraz sonra panelde yer alacak tüm panelistlere, programımıza katılan ve emek veren herkese ve elbette bu programların gerçekleşmesi için bize destek veren tüm sponsorlarımıza teşekkür ediyor. Sizleri saygıyla selamlıyorum.
Efendim, Sayın Olpak'a konuşmaları için teşekkür ederiz. Değerli konuklar, şimdi hitaplarını gerçekleştirmek üzere Türkiye Cumhuriyeti Enerji ve Tabii Kaynaklar Bakan Yardımcımız Sayın Ahmet Berat Çonkar'ı sahneye davet ediyoruz. Sayın Bakanım.
Honorable Ministers, dear colleagues, valued representatives of the business world and esteemed guests. Firstly, I would like to express our great pleasure in hosting you in the historic city of Istanbul on the occasion of the Türkiye-Afrika Economic and Business Forum. I hope that this large-scale and inclusive forum, conducted in partnership between the Ministry of Trade, DEİK and the African Union, will achieve its desired objectives and open the door to new partnerships and collaboration among our countries. Under the scope of this forum, investment opportunities in various fields such as energy, food security, health, tourism, manufacturing industries, and innovation and technology will be discussed. And the topics we need to collaborate on will be evaluated within the framework of this forum. I wholeheartedly believe that the issues to be brought to our agenda here will guide us in strengthening our relations. At this point, I would like to present our ministry's approach to Africa and some of the initiatives that we have carried out in the past. Dear participants, as we all know, Turkey has established positive relations with the African continent from the past to the present. And there is a growing relationship between our country and the continent with each passing day. As the ministry, we are also aiming to share our country's development experience with the African continent and to create solutions to Africa's energy access issues and also humanitarian needs. We demonstrated through the studies we carried out across the continent that our relations are not just rhetoric, and we continue to do so without slowing down. In this respect, we are very pleased to see that the people of Africa approach our country and our ministry with the same sincerity. So, as the ministry, what did we aim and what did we do for the African continent so far. We have recently appointed our energy consultants in Abuja, Nigeria, and Pretoria, Republic of South Africa, to further develop our cooperation with the continent in the fields of energy and natural resources, and to closely follow the opportunities and developments emerging in these fields. I should point out that these appointments are the first energy consultants of our ministry in the foreign countries, so that the high importance we attach to the continent can be better understood from our decisions. Also, we have signed agreements with 21 African countries to further develop our cooperation in energy and natural resources. These countries are Libya, Algeria, Egypt, Djibouti, Cameroon, Niger, Sudan, Kenya, Gambia, Tanzania, Somalia, Ghana, Guinea, Uganda, Ethiopia, Mauritania, Mali, Senegal, Chad, Angola, and Nigeria. In the coming period, we are actively conducting negotiations to sign agreements with 10 more countries from the continent. These countries are Somalia, Republic of South Africa, Burkina Faso, Mozambique, Sierra Leone, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Gabon, Congo, and Madagascar. To ensure that the agreements we sign do not stay on paper and to share our experiences, we provided technical training in the fields of oil, mining, electricity, and renewable energy to countries such as Libya, Sudan, South Sudan, Chad, Djibouti, Kenya, Ethiopia, Niger, Sierra Leone, and Burkina Faso. We have three main goals for these agreements. First, to increase the public-to-public relations and communication. The second is to pave the way for and support the activities of our private sector in this field. Thirdly, and most importantly, to utilize the resources of African countries in a way that will increase the welfare of the African people. In connection with these goals, we created the energy teams mechanism so that our public and private sectors can better understand Africa and follow investment opportunities closely. Until now, we have sent these teams, which consist of our bureaucrats and business people, to 9 African countries. The countries that we send these teams are Sudan, Niger, Tanzania, Somalia, Sierra Leone, Ethiopia, Senegal, Chad, and Mauritania. On the other hand, for African countries to benefit from their minerals to maximum extent, we have provided training to miners from many African countries within our experienced organization, META, General Director of Mineral Research and Exploration, that has been operating in this field since 1935. Also, MTA International Company, which was established to enable our META General Directorate to operate abroad, continues its mineral exploration activities in Sudan and Niger. Having said that, we also make every effort to interact with students from Africa to our country. For example, students receiving education in the field of mining may also have internship and job opportunities at our General Director of Mining Affairs. We will be proud that the students studying in our country graduate with adequate professional background and knowledge, and that they will contribute to their country and the world in their professional lives. Dear guests, despite all the destabilizing factors in its region, our economy has been growing and developing every year for the last 20 years. In connection with our growing economy, Turkey's demand for electricity and natural gas has tripled in the past 20 years. And in electricity alone, there has been an average annual demand increase of 4.7% every year. I would like to share some important steps we have taken to meet these increasing energy needs of our country. We increased our installed electricity capacity, which was 28,000 megawatts in 2001, to 105,000 megawatts. With the investments we have made in the last 10 years, we have increased the length of our electricity transmission lines by approximately 44% in the last 10 years, reaching to 74,000 kilometers. We have also increased the length of our electricity distribution lines by 29% in the last 10 years to over 1 million kilometers. We are shaping our energy policy in line with the goals of meeting the energy demand that will continue to increase in the coming period, reducing our dependence on foreign energy and becoming a carbon neutral economy in the next 30 years. Based on these goals, we highlighted domestic and renewable resources. We focused on localization in both production and technology. With all these initiatives, the share of renewable energy in the total electricity installed capacity has reached 55% in Turkey. With this rate, Turkey ranks number 5 in Europe and 12th in the world. In order for Turkey to turn into a carbon neutral economy, we aim to reach 53,000 megawatts of solar energy, approximately 30,000 megawatts wind energy, and 7,200 megawatts of nuclear energy, and 7,500 megawatt energy storage capacity by 2035. We also made significant investments in natural gas, which we see as a transition fuel within the scope of energy transformation and has a critical place in our 2053 zero emission target declared by our President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. As it is known, Turkey is the 4th largest market in Europe with an average annual natural gas consumption of 60 billion cubic meters. For this reason, in order to increase the energy supply security of both our country and our region, we have made intensive investments in domestic infrastructure and international pipeline projects. Bakü-Tiflis-Ceyhan, Bakü-Tiflis-Erzurum, TANAP, Blue Stream, Turkish Stream are the most concrete examples of these multinational projects. In addition, we have increased Turkey's total daily LNG gasification capacity to 161 million cubic meters with 5 LNG terminals. Today, we are in a position to meet half of our gas needs in the form of LNG. And we aim to increase our natural gas storage capacity, which is currently 5.8 billion cubic meters, to 11 billion cubic meters when the ongoing projects in Tuzgeli are completed fully. Dear guests, we continue our hydrocarbon exploration activities on land and offshore, and which we initiated to reduce our dependence on foreign resources. As a result of the offshore activities carried out by our state company, TPAO, we discovered 710 billion cubic meters of natural gas in the Sakarya field, which is located in the Black Sea offshore. First molecules of this natural gas field reached our country's natural gas system this year, and we are expecting to meet 30% of our natural gas consumption when the field reaches the plateau level. Currently, every day, we are receiving about 4 million cubic meters of natural gas from our local production in Black Sea. We will continue to increase energy supply security of both Turkey and our region with new discoveries in this area. All these steps we have taken and the investments we have made in the field of natural gas will bring our country closer to the goal of becoming a natural gas trade center in its region as well. And we would like to share all these experiences that our country has gained in the field of energy with our African friends. We believe that we can improve our cooperation with our African partners to increase the energy supply security of both our countries and our regions. Distinguished guests, in the current conjuncture, one of the most important agendas of countries has now become the security of energy supply. Energy security has now become an indispensable part of a national security of the states. Therefore, energy transformation and a carbon-neutral economy are of the same importance. From this perspective, natural resources of the African continent, which has a fairly high potential in the field of energy, are of high importance for the energy supply security of the continent. According to the latest data, we observe that the continent has 11 terawatts of solar, 350 gigawatts of hydropower, 110 gigawatts of wind, and 15 gigawatts of geothermal power potential. We believe that such a high potential can be effectively utilized with right investments and fair sharing and can serve as a dynamo in the development of African countries' economies. In this regard, by sharing our experiences, we can contribute to both the African continent's combat against climate change and realization of high renewable energy potential of the continent. On the other hand, as it is known, exploration and technology development studies in the field of rare earth elements, which is crucial in the value and supply chains of both the industry and the energy sector, have accelerated recently. In this context, we consider that we can cooperate and share experience in identifying and operating rare earth element deposits that have not yet been evaluated or studied in Africa. Undoubtedly, this great potential that the continent has both in energy and natural resources attracts Turkish investors to Africa as well. At this point, I would especially like to point out that Turkish investors do not prefer a profit-oriented approach only, but also act with a humane and inclusive approach that aims to benefit the people of the region. I would like to emphasize that this approach is strongly supported by our government and our ministry as well. Dear participants, as Turkey, we intend to work shoulder to shoulder with African countries as equal partners for many years ahead, rather than for short-term goals. As in the past, we will continue to lead projects that will benefit the African people. All the work we have carried out in the continent so far aim to create an ethical business model that will benefit both our country and the African people, rather than short-term gains. We would like to continue to develop the investment and growth-based strategy pursued by our country with our African companions. As I conclude my remarks, I hope that the Türkiye-Afrika Economy and Business Forum will be instrumental in achieving these objectives. I convey my messages of friendship and brotherhood from Istanbul to your countries and to your peoples. Thank you very much.
Efendim, Sayın Çonkar'a çok teşekkür ederiz. Değerli konuklar, şimdi hitaplarını gerçekleştirmek üzere Komorlar Birliği Sağlık, Dayanışma ve Sosyal Koruma Bakanı Sayın Lub Yakuti Atumani'yi sahneye davet ediyoruz. Sayın Bakanım.
Excellences, Messieurs les ministres, honorable assistance, chers participants, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tout d'abord, je vous présente les salutations de Son Excellence le Président de l'Union des Comores, Président en exercice de l'Union africaine, M. Azali Assoumani, qui aurait souhaité être avec nous pour ce premier panel du Forum économique Turquie-Afrique. C'est ainsi que je tiens aussi à féliciter les autorités de la Turquie pour la bonne organisation de cette importante rencontre. Je voudrais aussi les remercier pour l'invitation faite à l'Union des Comores pour participer à ce 4e forum et les remercier pour l'accueil chaleureux et les bonnes conditions de travail qui nous ont été réservées. S'agissant du forum Turquie-Afrique, le thème retenu pour cette 4e édition, à savoir défis et opportunités, des partenariats économiques Turquie-Afrique plus forts, exprime la nécessité du renforcement des relations de partenariat entre nos pays africains et la Turquie. Il s'agit d'un partenariat qui évolue bien dans tous les secteurs, mais qui a besoin d'être revitalisé en permanence compte tenu des nouvelles opportunités qui se présentent dans divers domaines, mais surtout par rapport aux nouveaux défis liés à l'évolution des marchés et aux organisations structurelles des acteurs. Les défis à faire face sont souvent sans précédent et sont d'ordre économique, sanitaire, écologique et sécuritaire. Ils nécessitent des actions globales et innovantes, des démarches solidaires et des partenariats gagnant-gagnant dans le cadre d'une gouvernance mondiale renouvelée et multilatérale. Le panel qui nous concerne et qui est placé en tête de série des autres panels sous le thème des opportunités d'investissement dans les infrastructures, énergie, télécommunications et réseaux de transport aborde une thématique essentielle, à savoir le volet logistique de la mise en œuvre des grands projets économiques. À l'échelle mondiale, nous vivons une période de transition énergétique et de transition numérique pour ce qui est des télécommunications, pour lesquelles nos pays africains, pris dans l'ensemble, accusent un grand retard. Il en est de même pour les secteurs des transports. En effet, malgré les énormes potentialités naturelles que regorgent les continents, deux grands défis s'érigent face à toutes les bonnes initiatives de développement. Les capacités technologiques limitées, les difficultés de financement des investissements et parfois les deux. Et c'est au regard de ces insuffisances d'une part et des potentialités que présentent les pays africains, d'autre part qu'il faudra axer la coopération de nos pays avec la Turquie. Cela doit se faire aussi bien par rapport à une vision globale à l'égard du continent, mais aussi d'une manière bilatérale. Le cas de mon pays, l'Union des Comores, est particulièrement singulier, tout comme les pays insulaires en voie de développement ou les autres pays enclavés dans le continent. Les besoins logistiques, les autres pays liés à leur désenclavement géographique par la nécessaire connectivité interile et avec le reste du monde, aux besoins de connexion aux grandes routes sous-marines de l'information et à la production d'énergie dans un environnement sensible constituent de véritables défis à relever avec l'expertise reconnue au niveau mondial et les autres capacités que dispose la Turquie aujourd'hui. C'est pourquoi je plaiderai à ce que lors de cette rencontre, une attention particulière soit accordée aux spécificités de chaque partenaire africain en termes de potentialité et de besoins par rapport aux potentialités de la Turquie dans un esprit gagnant-gagnant, comme cela a prévalu à ce jour. Je vous remercie de votre aimable attention.
Sayın Bakan'a konuşmaları için teşekkür ederiz. Değerli konuklar, Altyapı Yatırımı Fırsatları, Enerji, Telekomünikasyon ve Ulaşım Ağları panelimiz devam ediyor. Ve ilk olarak moderatörümüz Afrika Finans Kurumu Kıdemli Direktör ve Proje Geliştirme Başkanı Sayın Amadou Vada'yı, panelistlerimiz Mimarlar ve Mühendisler Grubu Başkanı Sayın Bülent Şen'i, Afrika Practice, Kamu Politikası ve Düzenleyici İşlerden Sorumlu Direktör Yardımcısı Sayın Kimara Çeti'yi, Pan-Afrika Ticaret ve Sanayi Odası Başkan Yardımcısı Sayın Çabuka Kaveşa'yı, Finer Green Yönetici Ortağı Sayın Jean-Jacques Engono'yu sahnedeki yerlerine davet ediyoruz. Ve şimdi sözü moderatörümüz Afrika Finans Kurumu Kıdemli Direktör ve Proje Geliştirme Başkanı Sayın Amadou Vada'ya bırakıyoruz.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed participants, good morning. It is my honor to stand before you today as we gather to discuss a topic of utmost significance: infrastructure investment opportunities in Africa in the sectors of energy, telecommunications, and transportation networks. So I'm going to try and set the stage before I invite the distinguished panelists for their various interventions. Africa, a continent teeming with immense potential, is witnessing a remarkable transition. With its abundant resources, a young and vibrant population, and a renewed commitment to progress, Africa stands poised at the precipice of unprecedented opportunities. However, to fully unleash its potential, it is imperative that we address the critical need for robust and sustainable infrastructure. Today, we aim to shed light on the vast investment prospects that await those who dare to seize the opportunity. Our panel of experts, hailing from various sectors, will provide valuable insights and engage in dynamic discussions exploring the challenges and opportunities present in infrastructure development across the continent. Infrastructure investment in Africa is not merely an act of philanthropy. It is a strategic move that yields mutual benefits. The Africa Finance Corporation is a proof of concept that infrastructure investments in Africa can be profitable. It unlocks new markets, facilitates trades, and enhances regional integration. Moreover, investing in infrastructure fosters innovation, nurtures entrepreneurship, and creates countless employment opportunities, particularly for African youth. As we delve into the discussions, we will explore some key sectors that hold immense potential for investment, from energy and transportation to telecommunications and urban development. We will examine possibilities of renewable energy initiatives, the transformative impact of digital connectivity, and so much more. I am confident that our esteemed panelists, with their vast expertise and diverse perspectives, will provide us with invaluable insights and inspire us to think bigger, bolder, and more imaginatively. Together, let us embark on sharing and collaboration as we uncover the infrastructure investment opportunities that lie within the continent. Now let's get started. I'll ask the panelists to introduce themselves very briefly before we delve into the questions. So I'll start with Mr. Barr.
Öncelikle çok teşekkür ediyorum. Böyle Türkiye-Afrika iş ve ekonomi modeliyle ilgili çalışmadan dolayı öncelikle Sayın Başkanımıza teşekkür ediyorum ev sahipliğinden dolayı. Katılımcılara, Sayın Bakanlarımıza ben çok teşekkür ediyorum. Bülent Şen ismim. Elektrik elektronik mühendisiyim. Mimar Mühendisler Grubu Genel Başkanıyım. İstanbul Ticaret Odası Meclis Üyesiyim. Dünya Enerji Konseyi Türk Milli Yönetim Kurulu üyesiyim aynı zamanda. Aynı zamanda enerji ihtisasla ilgili işlerim var. Gazeteciyim. Birçok gazetede enerjiyle ilgili köşe yazarlığı yapıyorum. Teşekkür ederim.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kimera. I'm an associate director at Africa Practice. Africa Practice is a pan-African risk advisory firm, and I lead the policy and regulatory affairs department. And what we do is we help investors across the continent navigate stakeholder relationships, but also be part of the policy-making conversations on the continent that drive investment. And very important for us is navigating these conversations for mutual benefit, that is to say, the benefit of Africa and her people. Thank you.
Good morning, and it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Chabuka Jekawesha, coming from the Pan-African Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Across the continent of Africa, we are in 5 blocks: South, East, West, North, Central. Primarily, our role is, of course, to advocate for private sector investment and to promote and support investment. Our approach is multi-sectoral, so we look across all sectors. So we are dealing with national chambers. I sit in Zambia myself, so we're dealing with the local chamber there, and looking after, under my portfolio, looking after 10 countries within the southern block of Africa. And then we have the other blocks. So it's a pleasure to be here and looking for an interactive discussion. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Excellency. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jean-Jacques Gonod, Managing Partner of Fanogreen, a financial advisory bank that invest only on renewables in the world, especially in Africa, that is the topics today. We do support company on M&A, raise funding in that area, any kind of technology from solar to hydro to biomass, hydrogen, any kind of renewable energy technology in Africa. So we have both in West Africa, in Abidjan, in Nairobi for East Africa, in Southern Africa, in Cape Town. So we work with all the companies across the world and with Turkish companies as well. I'm here to promote Africa infrastructure, of course. As you might know, Africa is the largest continent. We talk about more than 1 billion people, more than 2 billion in 2050. We talk about 7 to 8 fastest growing economic in the world, that is Africa. In Africa, we talk about the largest free economic zone thanks to the leadership of African Union. We talk about AFTA. And basically, we talk a continent where we need infrastructure everywhere. We talk about energy, road, construction, railway, airways, ports, telecommunication. We need opportunity everywhere. We talk about a need of more than 100 billion USD investment each year. We are here to promote relationship between Turkish company and Africa. Again, we are not here to ask about aid. We are here to do business. Business with between Africa and Turkish, and happy to be here to answer any of your questions and to try to find win-win partnership. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jean-Jacques. Let's start with something that's very topical, climate. I think the Honorable Minister mentioned the huge renewable energy potential in Africa. We know that 60% of the world's best renewable energy potential is on the African continent. We know that less than 5% is what is being utilize as of today. I'll start with Chimera. There is a climate crisis requiring moving away from fossil fuel to low carbon economy. How can African and Turkish enterprises help unleash this huge potential that I mentioned with regard to renewable energy in the continent?
Thank you, Chair. And I'm going to be timing myself so I don't go over. Let me start with setting the scene. In September this year, the government of Kenya and the African Union Commission co-hosted the Africa Climate Summit. I'm sure some of you in the room may have even been there. And I'm aware sometimes we get a bit cynical about these events. What benefit do they really bring? Is this another talk shop? Are we going to see any yields in the energy transition? And the move to climate adaptive strategies for Africa and its investors. Out of the conference, which was pivotal, we had around 20,000 more delegates, heads of state who attended, and the outcome was the Nairobi Declaration, an 11-point action plan. And what was unique about this action plan was the assertiveness we saw of African leaders, and really led by President Ruto. It's no longer Africa with its begging bowl saying, please. It's Africa saying we're here to negotiate, and we're here to negotiate in order to drive reform, particularly finance reform. So what does this mean? It means we need improved access to concessional loans. It needs the establishment of a carbon markets initiative. And more importantly, and maybe provocatively, it means we need a coming to the party by developed nations to fund climate adaptation and mitigation. Another imperative out of the climate agenda for Africa is the role of women and youth. Africa is one of the youngest continents, if not the youngest continent, and the role of young people in the energy market is vastly important. So we saw all of these good things coming out of the summit, and a core reason for this is previously and historically debates about Africa's energy future has been determined by external factors like geopolitics, right? This is divorced from the reality that African people and communities themselves face. And so a changing of the narrative, Kenya itself being an appropriate country to host it. Kenya, over 90% of Kenya's power comes from renewable energy resources. So at the end of the summer, what do we see? $23 billion in funding commitments. This sounds impressive, but it's short of the estimated $2.8 trillion that the continent needs by 2030 to implement its nationally determinative contribution, which is about 93% of Africa's GDP. There's a debt problem, and we know this with public debt being $1.8 trillion by 2022. We're seeing some innovation, reintroduction of debt for nature swaps, but we need the conversation to change, and part of changing it is looking at Africa's competitive advantage. The advantage in green hydrogen, for example. Africa's energy transition hinges on new technologies, and whether we're talking storage or the transportation of energy, there are vast investment opportunities in this transition. In the mining sector, for example, in South Africa, Anglo-American has shown this proof of concept in May, launching the world's largest hydrogen-powered mine haul truck. And the reduction in emissions alone, moving from a diesel-heavy industry, is vast. South Africa is also moving on its green hydrogen valley, which is an 800-kilometer wide stretch covering 3 provinces, again, with key projects in transport, industrial, and construction sectors. I'm wrapping up, Chair. We have opportunities in Kenya's Rift Valley in geothermal energy that's looking at exploration and generation in wind energy in the Lake Turkana wind power project. In Morocco, the world's largest solar power projects. And so what you're seeing is Africa is ready to do business, and Africa is no longer asking for handouts, but saying, we're here to negotiate. I was really encouraged to hear in the opening address that these partnerships through Turkey investors is founded on the principle of equal partnership. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Direct to Mr. Bulen. The Honorable Minister mentioned the journey that Turkey has taken over the past 20 years. They've moved from 28,000 megawatts to 115, almost quadrupling the installed capacity at the time. These are important lessons, we believe, that could be shared. And I think it would be important if you can shed light on how you believe Turkish enterprises can come and partner with African enterprises to replicate, because as we know, within the continent, 50% don't have access to energy. So, please go ahead.
Öncelikle teşekkür ediyorum. Şimdi değerli bakanımız da rakamları söyledi. Ben de aslında dünyanın ve Türkiye'nin 2050 ve 2053 yılına kadarki enerji öngörümünü kısaca anlatmak istiyorum. Şimdi ben demin de bahsettiğim birçok enerji gazetesinde yazı yazıyorum. Yazılarıma başlarken enerji hayattır diyorum. Enerji hayattır. Japonca'da enerji hayat. Lügat anlamı hayat. Şimdi dünyanın şöyle genel bir görünümüne bakacağım. Kısa bir özet çıkaracağım. Dünyanın yüz ölçümlü %2'si büyük şehirlerde yaşıyor. Dünya yüz ölçümlü %2'si büyük şehirlerde yaşıyor. Bu %2'lik yüz ölçümde nüfusun %60'ı yaşıyor. Yani %2'lik yüz ölçümde %60'lık bir nüfus var. Peki bu %60'lık nüfus %2'lik yüz ölçümde enerjinin yüzde kaçını tüketiyor biliyor musunuz? %75'ini. Peki karbon salımının kaçını yapıyor? %80'ini yapıyor. 2, 60, 75 ve 80 bu rakamlara dikkat edin lütfen. Mühendis olduğum için rakamları seviyorum, rakamlarla konuşmayı. Şimdi ben sizi 1881 yılına bir götüreyim. 1881 yılında İngiltere'de Lordlar Kamerası'nda Lord Kelvin'in şöyle bir cümlesi var. Diyor ki İngiltere Avam Kamerası'nda, arkadaşlar diyor, fosil yakıtlar tükenmek üzere tek umudumuz rüzgar gülleri. Sene 1881, 142-143 yıl önce. Ve Edison'un da enteresan bir cümlesi var. Edison'un da şöyle bir cümlesi var elektriği bulduktan sonra, yaktıktan sonra. Diyor ki elektrik o kadar ucuz olacak ki sadece zenginler mum yakacak. Şimdi ben enerji kısa bir şeyini anlatmaya çalıştım. Şimdi aslında baktığımızda, demin de Sayın Bakanımız o rakamları verdi. Özellikle bana göre işte Covid süreci sonrası, Rusya-Ukrayna Savaşı'ndan sonra bence birinci global enerji krizini yaşadı dünya bana göre. Birinci global enerji krizi. Aslında enerji krizleri de fırsatları da yaratıyor bir bakıma. Nasıl diyeceksiniz? 1970 yılında petrolle ilgili o dönemde okumuşsunuzdur. Petrol krizinden sonra o dönemde araçlar 100 kilometrede 20 litrelik yakıt yakıyorlardı. Bu krizi fırsata çevirerek 100 kilometrede bunu ilk başta 10 litreye düşürdüler. Yani krizler ve fırsatlar. Şunu söylememde de fayda var. Demir rakamları verdim ama Türkiye'ye baktığınızda, Türkiye'nin enerji gündemine baktığınızda, Türkiye enerjiye kömürle başlamış ilk başta. Sonra suyla tanışmış, sonrasında doğalgazla tanışmış, 2000'li yıllardan sonra yenilenebilir enerjiyle tanışıyor. Yenilenebilir enerji ne? Su dışındakileri ayrı yere koyarsak yenilenebilir enerji güneştir, rüzgardır, biyokütledir, jeotermaldir. Türkiye, demin bakanımız da o rakamı söyledi, 2002 yılında kurulu gücü yaklaşık 32 bin megawatt. Türkiye'nin kurul gücü. Şu andaki kurul güç 105 bin megawatt. Türkiye'nin 2002 yılında yenilenebilir enerji, suyu ayrı koyuyorum, kenarda koyuyorum. Yaklaşık yanlış hatırlamıyorsam birkaç megawattlık Bozcaada'da bir tane rüzgar gülümüz vardı. Şu anda Türkiye günde %55'i olmak üzere yenilenebilir enerjiden kazanıyor. Ve Türkiye enerjisine aslında baktığınızda paçal hale getirmiş. Yani kömürü de var sistemde, doğalgazı da var, suyu da var, yenilenebilir enerjisi var. İnşallah 29 Ekim 2024 yılında da nükleer güç santralimizin birinci fazı, birinci reaktörü devreye girecek. Bu da yaklaşık 4800 megawattlık bir nükleer güç kapasitemiz var. Bunun ilk ayağı 1200 megawatt inşallah bir yıl sonra devreye giriyor. Şimdi dünyada rakamları verirken aslında biraz da Afrika tarafında çalıştım dersime. Şimdi enteresan bir rakam daha söyleyeceğim size. Karbon emisyonunda dünya nüfusunun zengin olan kısmı, zengin kısım, %1'lik kısım bu emisyonun %15'ini oluşturuyor arkadaşlar. Bakın dikkat edin rakamlara. %15'ini oluşturuyor. Peki en fakir %50'lik kısım neyi oluşturuyor? %7'sini oluşturuyor. Yani en zenginle en fakir kısım arasında 100 katlık bir emisyon farkı var. Bu çok önemli bir rakam. Ve şunu da görüyoruz. Türkiye'de bunu yaşıyor, yaşayacak da. İşte demin bakanımız da söyledi. 2050 ve 2053 net sıfır emisyon için dünyada ve Türkiye'de aslında baktığımızda enerji konuşmamdaki şey şuydu. Dünyaya baktığımızda iklim değişikliğinin yaklaşık %80'i enerjiden kaynaklanıyor. Yani enerji kaynaklı, özür dilerim. Enerji kaynaklı kullanımından dolayı %80'e yakın bir iklim değişikliğinden karbon emisyonu salınıyor. Diğer %20 de diğer taraflar. Bunun için 2050 net sıfır emisyonu diyoruz. Bunlara ulaşmak için neler yapmamız lazım? Aslında bazı ev ödevlerimiz var. Sonrasında ben Afrika kısmına da geleceğim. Türkiye'nin yaptığı ev ödevlerini ben size söyleyeyim kısaca, hızlıca. İşte yenilenebilir enerjiye geçişler. Güneştir, rüzgardır ve diğer sistemler. Türkiye şu anda enerjisinin bazı günlerde yaklaşık %50-55'ini hatta 60'a varıncaya kadar yenilenebilir enerjiden sağlıyor. Enerji verimliliği benim için çok çok önemli. Bu Afrika için de çok önemli. Dünya için de çok önemli. Geçen İran Enerji Bakanı bir açıklama yaptı. Yıllık 100 milyar dolarlık enerjiyi verimsiz kullanmaktan dolayı bir kaybı var. Ciddi bir rakam. İşte yeni teknolojiler, hidrojendir. Demin hanımefendi söyledi. Karbon yakalamadır, karbon tutmadır. Nükleer güç santralleri ve fosil yakıtlardan yavaş yavaş yakıtlardaki kullanımın yavaş yavaş düşürülmesi. Şimdi şunu da söylememde fayda var. Dünyaya baktığımızda ben yaklaşık 37 yıldır enerji sektöründeyim. 30 yıldır bu işi yapıyorum. Mühendis olarak çalıştım. Sahayı da biliyorum, projelendirmeyi de biliyorum. Ve dünyanın geçişlerine de baktığımda enerji tarihinde çok seviyorum. Eskiden enerji sisteminden farklı bir enerji sistemine geçiş, değerli başkanım, 50 ile 100 yıl arasındaydı. Yani bir sistemden başka bir sisteme geçiş 50-100 yıl arasıydı. Şu anda bu 20 yılın altına düştü. Yani bir sistemden başka bir sisteme geçişte 20 yılın altında. Mesela örnek nedir? Hiç düne kadar konuşmadığımız, bildiğimiz ama konuşamadığımız işte karbon yakalamadır, hidrojendir, efendime söyleyeyim enerjinin depolanmasıdır. Bunlar çok çok önemli hale geliyor. Ben yenilenebilir enerji eyvallah destekliyoruz, savunuyoruz. Sıfır karbon emisyon içinde her zaman şeyindeyiz ama bazı yükleri unutmamamız lazım. Nedir? İşte bunlar doğalgazdır, nükleer güç santralleridir, kömürdür. Kömür bir şekilde işin hala bana göre işin içinde. Baktığımızda bazı yükler bir şekilde şeyini devam ettiriyor değerli arkadaşlar. Şöyle, bazı yük olmak zorunda, bazı yük olmadan şu sistemi çalıştırma şeyiniz çok zor. Teknik kısma girmeyeceğim ama bunu depolamayla belli bir noktada çözebilirsiniz ama. Peki, Afrika örneklerine gelelim. Afrika'da avantajlarımız ne? Şimdi Afrika özel olarak çalıştığımızda, Afrika'da ben şunu gördüm, dün biraz dersime çalıştım. Muazzam kaynaklar var ve enerji üretimine ciddi kaynakları sahip. Buna rağmen bu kadar büyük bir potansiyel var ama nüfusun yaklaşık %43'ü hala elektriğe ulaşmış değil. Yani demin 1 milyarlık bir nüfustan bahsedildi. Bir yanlış hatırlamıyorsam 1 milyar 300 milyon. Yaklaşık 600 milyonu hala elektriğe ulaşmış değil. Buna rağmen kıta hakikaten büyümeye devam ediyor. Nüfus artıyor. Nüfus arttıkça enerjiye talep de artıyor. Ve Afrika'da aslında baktığımızda şunu da söylememde fayda var. Çok kıymetli madenler var. Çok kıymetli mineraller var. Ben şu rakamı da söyleyeceğim. Afrika'da dostlar bunu da dikkate alsınlar lütfen. 1 megawattlık yenilenebilir enerji için, 1 megawatt için söylüyorum. 1 megawattlık fosil yakıta göre arkadaşlar 6 kat daha fazla madene ihtiyacınız var. Yani mineral, elektrik araçları da bunun içine koyduğumuzda bu rakam daha da yükseliyor. Yani eski yakıt türlerine göre yeni yakıt türlerinde madenlere ihtiyaç daha da artıyor. Bunun için söyledim. Biz, demin Sayın Bakanımız da söyledi, biz Afrika'yla, ben 2 gün önce de yine Afrika ile ilgili bir iş konseyi toplantısındaydım. Hakikaten biz dost gözüyle bakıyoruz. Yani oradaki kaynakları da görüyoruz. Biz dost ve arkadaşça yaklaşmaya çalışıyoruz. Çünkü bu bölgede özellikle değerli madenler var, fosil yakıtlar var ve petrol ve gaz keşifleri de var. Şimdi baktığımda birkaç rakam da vermek istiyorum. Uranyum kaynaklarının yaklaşık %18'i bu bölgede. İşte Namibya'da, Nijer'de, Güney Afrika'da. Bunun dışında çok stratejik bir hale geliyor. İşte kobalt orada, platin orada, lityum orada çok zengin. Lityum özellikle biliyorsunuz elektrikli araçlar için olmazsa olmaz madenlerden biri. Aynı zamanda Zimbabwe, Mali ve Gana'da lityum kaynakları var. Afrika güneş enerjilerine baktığımızda dünyanın aslında %60'lık potansiyeline sahip. Buna rağmen şu anda Afrika'da %60 potansiyel olmasına rağmen %1'lik üretimi var güneşten. Yani çok düşük bir rakam. Afrika aynı zamanda baktığımızda şu rakamı da söylemem lazım. Dünya nüfusunun 1/5'ine sahip ama küresel enerji yatırımlarının %5'ini alıyor. Okey, başkanım uyarıyor. Birkaç rakamla hemen hızlıca bitireyim o zaman. Şu rakamlar benim ilgimi çekti. Şöyle diyeyim, Güneş enerjisi kapasitesi Afrika'da 10 terawatt saat, hidroelektrik 350 gigawatt saat, rüzgar 110 gigawatt saat, jeotermalde de 15 gigawatt saatlik bir potansiyeli var. Hakikaten Afrika genç nüfus, büyüyen bir nüfus, ciddi kaynakları var, ciddi mineralleri var. Bunu ve ciddi bir güneşe ve hidroelektriğe de sahip aslında. Bunları değerlendirmesi lazım. Bir Türkiye olarak hem kamu hem özel sektör Afrika'da dostlarımızın yanınızdayız. Elimizi her zaman uzatıyoruz. Ben teşekkür ediyorum. Süremi açtığımsa özür diliyorum.
Thank you very much. Thank you. If I can move to Chabuka. The size of the infrastructure deficit is huge, and it's obvious that governments on their own cannot fill this gap. In your role with the Pan-African Chamber of Commerce, what do you believe Chamber of Commerce can do to help to attract investment into infrastructure on the continent?
Thank you so much, and that's a very insightful and good question. I think what is key is that, yes, we've been able to identify the key areas where infrastructure deficit is a big challenge. And we know that that particular infrastructure is a catalyst for economic development. We have infrastructure such as transmission, in terms of power generation. You can invest in power generation, but if there is no transmission, it won't work. So we have to begin to look at transmission. We have to look at accessible road infrastructure. So it's about drawing a plan. We have seen a lot of interest that is coming in the area of energy, in the area of telecommunications, and in the area of transportation. Key with energy, as indicated, it's transmission infrastructure or distribution infrastructure. For telecommunications, it's a big boom, but we need fiber manufacturers. We need to lay sufficient fiber on the continent of Africa between countries. We are dealing with 55 countries, and if dealt with and handled as blocks, it's much easier to begin to deploy. If you're dealing with the Southern Bloc, you're dealing with the Central Bloc, you're dealing with the North African Bloc, West African, and Eastern Bloc, and then you begin now to deliver. With regard to transportation, rail transportation has been missing. We produce a lot of goods. We can have agricultural investors come in, but it is important that the movements of those goods is made easier, and investments in terms of rail is very, very cardinal. Civil aviation, yes, it can, but it's a bit on the expensive side. We have seen Turkish companies, I think Yapuri, doing very well in Tanzania and Zambia, and advancing their interests to expand in Zambia. Whilst that is required, what is cardinal is that both African companies and Turkish companies need to jointly invest in research and development. We need to jointly invest in feasibility studies. There is a big challenge many a times that when inquiries come in terms of, are they projects that are available? Projects are already available, but do those projects have bankable feasibility studies? So our appeal as a chamber is that you begin, and jointly we begin to look at undertaking feasibility studies so that we are able to appreciate and agree a model that can be used. Is it a public-private partnership model based on the project? Is it EPC plus finance with a concession period, or various models that can be considered by investors and financiers? It is always important and it helps as well to identify the risk so that the Turkish investors and both the African investors are able to estimate their risk appetite, so that when you engage the DFIs, whether they're coming from Turkey or they're coming from other markets, they're able to know that the investors appreciate the risk appetite, they're able to understand the return on investment and how to syndicate capitalization of those projects. So these projects are quite huge in Zambia, in Africa, and Zambia in particular, and many other African countries. But it is important that we begin to approach them from initially understanding what should come first. In the sector of energy, it's transmission. Very, very critical. Africa is lacking that. In energy, we are lacking massive availability of fiber to roll out, affordable fiber, so that the digital age, the digital space, can move on that. With transportation across all the countries, governments are in discussion. We can see the interest from the private sector as well to invest in cross-border connectivity. So the opportunities are there, and we look at significant interaction with all of you to see how best we can identify some of the projects that you can tap into and identify the potential partners that we can deal with. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jean-Jacques, the minister mentioned a win-win partnership. Africa has a very youthful population. About 40% is below the age of 15. How can we ensure that the partnership towards investing in more infrastructure on the continent also creates that employment opportunity for Africa's youth?
Thank you, Ahmed. Sorry. Just before answering this question, let me come back to the first question about energy, about Africa, infrastructure needs. We have been approached by a lot of Turkish companies that want to do construction in Africa. I'm fully agree with my brother here, saying that when you come in Africa, my dear Turkish company, it's too late. When you come for ready-to-build projects, it's too late. The key for you in Africa to succeed is long-term partnership. Long-term partnerships start from the beginning. Beginning meaning funding as well, feasibility studies, taking that risk. If you secure the feasibility risk, you will have maybe the other way maybe to get other projects. But when you come to looking for ready-to-build projects, it's often too late. That is my first point here. From Morocco to South Africa, from Tanzania to Senegal, Africa is the largest continent in the world. The largest continent in the world. And that needs, I will repeat, more than 100 billion USD investment in infrastructure. I agree also that the government cannot do everything alone. There is a huge need for private investment. That means a lot of opportunities for African private sector, but also for a Turkish company. I can list a lot of Turkish companies already investing in Africa. Limak, I would say also AXA, Syntec, Yapi Mekazi in different sectors, not only energy, also construction, railway, etc. That is fine. But we need more. We need more partnership together in that aspect. For me, partnership infrastructure is the same. It's a long-term commitment. Long-term commitment means we need to involve also the youngest population in the world. We talk about between 40 and 50% of the African population that have less than 15 years old. That is huge. That is huge, I heard a lot of people saying that could be, it's a benefit for Africa. I fully agree that is a benefit for Africa, having the youngest population in the world. But on one side, we can see that as a huge opportunities if all that people are well trained and if you can bring a kind of knowledge, skills transfer. Meaning that you train people locally. When you invest in a country like Comor, for instance, you came here with your technology, but with the idea to train people locally. That is a long-term commitment. You won't have benefits in the first years, maybe after 5, 10 years, you'll have long-term benefits from that training. But on the other hand, the young population could be a massive weapon and lethal weapon if it's not trained. Meaning that you came to Africa to do kind of just one shot maybe business. One shot business doesn't work in infrastructure. Infrastructure is long-term commitment. Young population is long-term commitment. And I invite you, when you come in Africa, in any sector, to put in your agenda training local young people. Is that young population that will create value for you in the long-term basis. And when I talk about win-win partnership, it's such kind of things. Partnership with a young population in Africa in order to create long-term value for both parties, 50-50. That is my view here with young population in Africa.
Thank you very much. If I come back to Chimera, African leaders have been arguing and have been strenuously making the point that Africa does not need aid. Africa needs investment and not aid. How can we, and as you know, there's been a lot of Africa-focused fora. You have the Turkish Africa Business Summit, you have other countries' business summits in Africa. But most of those engagements have not resulted in significant investment in infrastructure. What can be done differently with this Turkey-Africa partnership to ensure that the conversations we have do translate into actual investments on the continent?
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to pick up from where Jean-Jacques left off, beyond investment to partnership, and what does that mean? At Africa Practice, when we speak about partnership, we speak about it alongside consultation and alongside participation. I want to also encourage all of you that partnering in African states is partnering all along the value chain. Jean-Jacques spoke about the power of knowledge sharing and sharing insights. And as Turkish investors, the value you bring through capacity building, women and youth empowerment, skills training, skills transfer, this sort of capacity building is part of the good faith partnership that we see African leaders leaning towards. African leaders are tired of an extractive relationship that does not have shared value for African communities. Historically, this has dominated the way of doing business. And the narrative is changing partly because African communities are growing more assertive. We have young people who, if they are not part of the economic development and growth of the continent, will grow increasingly frustrated, and we are seeing these discontents on the continent. So this is not charity doing this kind of investment in the value chain. It's part of the investment journey. And the synergy between Turkey and Africa is important because Turkish investors understand this, the power of relationship building. We say Africa is not a country. How you build relationships in East Africa may be different to West Africa, may be different to the North and South, and this is important, understanding local nuance. I think if we want this forum to not be a talk shop where everyone comes and you spend your precious time listening to people on stage but not seeing value for yourself, it's to take this advice forward, go to the continent, go to the regions, and build relationships on the ground. there's huge potential to bring your insights and expertise to help your sector and your industry and the value chains that form part of these sectors. And from a policy perspective, there's appetite from your public sector counterparts. When we speak about policy co-creation, come to the table to participate in good faith. Don't come to lobby for narrow interests. And this is when I say the narrative is changing, is keep the public interest at the fore because this is beneficial. We know that investors want policy certainty. You don't want to bring your money to the continent and not know what the future of that sector is going to look like. How do you work towards this? Be part of the policy conversation for that sector. So I think partnership is an excellent way to take this forward in an actionable way. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Maybe give 1 minute last word to each participant. If you can start with Bullen. What is your closing remark? We have a time constraint.
Çok teşekkür ediyorum. Şimdi notlarıma da baktım. Konuşmacıları da dinledim. Gerçekten baktığımızda Afrika işte 1 milyarın üzerinde bir nüfus, %40'ı genç, 15 yaş ve altı. Ciddi bir rakam. Ciddi bir enerji kaynağı da var. Ciddi bir maden kaynağı da var. Bunların hakikaten demin de ben Afrika'da biraz dolaştım, gezdim de söylediklerine katılıyorum. Bunların söz olarak değil de yatırım halinde dönmesi ve orada bir katma değer oluşturması önemli olan. Türkiye'nin de bu konuda hem kamu eliyle hem özel sektör eliyle hem mühendislik eliyle bu konularda güçlü olduğu alanlar var. Yani birlikte burada standlar da açıldı. Birlikte zaten yapılan işler var ama daha efektif, daha katma değer hale döndürülebilir. Ben teşekkür ediyorum söz verdiğin için. Sağ ol.
Thank you. Chabuka, last word. Then.
Thank you so much. I wanted to touch on the point before we close on the issue of sovereign guarantees. Many times we've seen that when we receive inquiries and the issue of sovereign guarantees from government come up, and the minute there is indication to say there is no sovereign guarantee, interest is lost. I think that's where it is important that once feasibility studies are undertaken and as the project is being structured, both the Turkish investors and the African investors are able to appreciate the risk and which models to use, because that is very, very critical. There are multiple models that can be used, and relying on the availability of sovereign guarantees when many African countries, and indeed outside, are dealing with debt issues, that won't open up the opportunities for us. But together, let's move as Africa and Turkey and turn around issues of sovereign guarantees into opportunities. People are looking for accessibility, affordable finance, and projects that you can support. And those projects are indeed on the market. And we are available to collaborate with yourselves and to engage yourselves. And I think many of my colleagues here from Africa do have those investment opportunities that they can share. But let's try and shift the dynamics from focusing on projects that only offer sovereign guarantees. Then we'll be able to deliver through other joint partnerships and joint ventures on the continent of Africa, and indeed from Africa, investments into Turkey. I submit.
Thank you. 30 seconds, Jean-Jacques.
Yes, just quickly on sovereign guarantees. I'm not the big advocate of sovereign guarantee. You know, the things with the insurance guarantees that you pay something that you will never use. That is the point. That only increase the project cost between 1% of 3% of the total project cost. We are dealing with that a lot, but I'm not the big advocate. I think we can do private projects in Africa, finding some insurance or some means to maybe to secure your project without this long-term commitment from government that is a kind of headache for everybody, and that is the point. But maybe one word, you know, there is a huge opportunity that I was trying to say at the beginning, trying to find partnership between Turkish and Africa. There's a lot of opportunity in infrastructure in Africa. Basically, long-term commitment is key for me. I've been in that industry for about 15 years now, with private sector, dealing with government. I know many Turkish companies, and when you come in Africa, Africa is welcoming you. Come with a long-term perspective, especially in the infrastructure side, and trying to maybe to step in from the development side to the operation, and not coming only on the construction phase where you are selling your knowledge. That is quite great, but we need a bit more as a partnership with you. Saying that, maybe it's a request for the organization here. I would like this kind of business forum, maybe the next one should be organized in Africa, because, you know, a lot of people, what African company want to attend, you know, what is the burden with the visa coming here. Maybe the next one should be organized somewhere in Africa, in North Africa, East Africa, or South Africa, and having a lot of Turkish company coming on ground, meeting a lot of African company in the ground, and have a more concrete partnership. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. So just to wrap it up and try and sum it up, indeed, Turkish companies are doing business on the continent. At AFC, we have the privilege of working with several Turkish companies. We're doing a 300 megawatt gas-fired power plant in Senegal with a Turkish contractor, Çelik. We just closed out on port operations in Ghana, a major port, with a Turkish company called Yatırım Group. And we are looking at a number of renewable energy projects on the continent with Turkish contractors. So the key message is we need to scale up because the opportunity is huge. The Turkish companies that have ventured into Africa are doing very well, and I think they should act as a pilot for other companies to feel comfortable to come to the continent and partner with African institutions. Thank you very much. We're told that time is up, and the dialogue will continue throughout the day. Thank you.
Efendim, sayın konuşmacılarımıza değerli katkılar için teşekkür ederiz. Değerli konuklar, Altyapı Yatırımı Fırsatları, Enerji, Telekomünikasyon ve Ulaşım Ağları panelimiz sona ermiştir. Katılımınız için teşekkür ederiz. Değerli konuklar, 15 dakika içinde Afrika Dijital Dönüşümü, Afrika Dijital Teknolojiler Ekosistemini Geliştirmek isimli panelimiz bulunduğumuz salonda gerçekleşecektir. Katılımlarınızı bekleriz efendim.